Business progression. So you want to progress. You want things to improve. You want things to get better in your life, as any person does. Yeah. But what is the glass ceiling? What is the reason why your progression isn't at the rate you want it to be, or you haven't got to the point that you feel you should do for the person that you are? Inherently anything in life is, 90% mindset, 90% psychological, and 10% are the actions we take. And with progressing in this incredibly important area, you can see in yourself how anxiety, stress, the fear-based state that activates our brain, is the limiting factor in terms of people moving forward. And it's also, on the flip side, it's the key advantage, because people who have incredibly low levels of stress, low levels of anxiety, and are primarily activating the forefront part of their brain, the creative part, the leadership part, the excellence part, the part of their brain that is allowing them to get the most out of themselves, are far more likely to have their confidence rise over time, are far more likely for their self-esteem to rise over time, and are far more likely to be productive and congruent in their life. Yeah. Whereas on this side, people are trapped in terms of having to distract themselves or avoid the stress and the pain they're experiencing each day, whether it's by overeating, gaining weight, whether it's by venting in their relationship and causing continuous conflict and arguments, whether it's by gambling, whether it's by taking cocaine, whether it's by drinking alcohol excessively, whether it's just by simply avoidance. Time that they could be producing, they could be creating, they're spending playing video games, watching TV, wasting time, doing completely unimportant tasks that are not moving the needle on their life and allowing their life to move forward. So, as any person is, you are the center of your universe, yeah, but you're also the limit to your capacity to move forward. Yep. So the better you are, the more you become, the further you go. Fact. Yeah. So knowing that within yourself, what are the things that limit you in that type of way? Well, confidence and self-esteem and mood. So these are the three foundational building blocks for all success. Yeah. So if your confidence is here or here, it's massively going to limit what you're going to be able to do in your life. If your self-esteem is here or here, massively going to limit you. And if your mood, how you feel in yourself, is either a fear-based mood, anger, frustration, stress, tension, and these are the energies that you live in each day, or the opposite, where you feel great in yourself, playful, fun, enjoyment, joy, passion, excitement, insightful, positive, excited in your life, yet whether these states are the states that you dwell in and that you live in each day. And within that, yeah, there's a kind of ratio, there's a momentum each day. So either every single day you're moving more towards fear-based states. So the average person inherently over the past 10 years is more stressed today than were 10 years ago. So most people are actually moving on a downward curve, not an upward curve. Yep, where these states are taking control of us further and further and further. So I appreciate that most people in today's society don't really think about these things and don't really evaluate these things. What people tend to focus on is just purely work. Do the work, do the work, do the work. Work harder, hustle, do more, do more. And obviously I completely appreciate that things have to be done for results to happen. But what people don't tend to focus on is that, the most important factor in any action being undertaken is the person who is doing the action. And within that, yeah, when you're at your best or your worst, the action has a completely different impact on your life. Yeah. So inherently, as people grow more, as their confidence rises, as they become better people, then they can very often do less action and get far greater results. Why? Because the actions go further, the actions go deeper, the actions go wider. When Richard Branson takes actions today, do you think his actions go as far as my actions, as far as your actions? They don't, obviously. Why? Because he's coming from a place of certainty, a place of confidence, a place of understanding. Therefore, he takes actions, even if they're the same actions as us, in a completely different way. Therefore, the actions go farther over the long term. So within any of us, we are the glass ceiling. We are the cap for anything in our life. For our relationships, being loving, connected, great in ourselves, or even not having a relationship, yeah, or being full of conflict, or being divorced. We are the glass ceiling for how it moves in the direction. We are the default for that. Financially, our progression in our career, running a business, doing the things that you want to, whether you perceive you can enjoy your business, whether you perceive business is something that's always full of stress, always full of tension, always full of pain, and always full of conflict. Yep, our perspectives on that is going to influence the direction that we move forward in. And within ourselves, Yep, the kind of frustrating conflict is that we're all incredibly awful at seeing these things. So for me to see my own patterns is very difficult. For me to see yours is incredibly easy. Therefore, it kind of puts us in a conflicting place where for other people to help us and make us make transcendent moves forward in life is very, very easy. For us to do it for ourselves is incredibly difficult because we simply do not see those things. You can't read the label of the bottle when you are inside the bottle. Yeah. So in today's world, the majority of people are moving in a direction of being hyper-stressed, hyper anxious, sleeping poorer over year after year after year, and moving in a direction that's not really supporting them. So we're saying that the work is more most important, not the person who's doing the work. Yeah. Whereas, might look at it from the opposite focus, as I've just said. So my focus is on putting you in the best possible state you can possibly be by understanding that moving your brain from a fearful, hyper-stressed, sensitive, reactive state to a state where you're getting the best out of yourself is the most important, beneficial thing you can do for yourself and for your life. Why? Well, primarily why? Because your confidence will rise and rise and rise. Yep, if you're a person who feels in yourself that your potential has always been there, you've always had great potential to succeed at life, but it hasn't worked out as far as you yet want it to, then that is fundamentally the reason. Because fear traps us in a place where we simply do not take the same empowered, profound actions as we do when we're on this side of ourselves. And also, we're not consistent. We don't consistently put ourselves first. Yeah, why? Because we feel fucking awful. And when you feel awful in yourself, there is no need to do good things for yourself because there's no investment really, is there? If I feel rubbish in myself, then what's the point in me doing good things for myself? Because I already perceive that feeling rubbish is the normal and the default within my life. Cool.